Good afternoon, Mr. Manson.
Gentlemen.
If I could ask you to take your glasses off, please. Thank you.
We're on, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, we're on the record. This will be a subsequent parole consideration hearing for Charles Manson. ID number is B33920. On 4/22 of 1971, the prisoner was received in CDC pursuant to Penal Code Section 1168, violation of Penal Code Section 8 counts of 187. That's first-degree murder out of Los Angeles County. Their case number is A253156, counts 1 through 7, and the controlling minimum eligible parole date is 12/13/78. Prisoner was also received on the same date for violation of Penal Code Section 187, one count of first-degree murder out of Los Angeles County, case number A267861. It's count 1. Today's date is March 27th, 1997. We're located at Corcoran State Prison. The time is approximately 1:30 p.m. We're going to start by establishing voice identification by each of us, stating our first name and last name, spelling our last name. Mr. Manson, when we get around the table to you, if after you spell your last name, if you'll give me your CDC number. We'll start with Mr. Douglas, and we'll go to his left.
Mike Douglas, DOUGLAS, Deputy Commissioner of Board of Prison Terms.
My name is Steve Baker, BAKER, Commissioner with the Board of Prison Terms.
My name is Arthur Van Court, VAN, capital COURT, Commissioner, Board of Prison Terms.
Charles Millis Scott Manson, B33920, and all the rest of them.
I would just spell your last name, Mr. Manson.
MANSON.
Thank you. Mr. Kay.
Yes, Stephen Kay from the District Attorney's Office in Los Angeles, and my last name is spelled K-A-Y.
Stephen K. from his mother.
Only notice of the hearing. And your file was made available to you for review. You have the right to present any relevant documents. Do you have any documents to present to the board today that we don't already have?
Well, I'm not much into the clerical perspective of this particular chamber of thought.
Okay, so we pretty much have all the documents that we're going to have, is that
Well,
correct?
I imagine you wrote them. They're yours.
Okay. You also have a right to an impartial panel. Do you have any problems with a panel member seated before
No,
you
no.
today?
In fact, it's better than last time.
Okay. You're going to get a copy of the tentative written decision today. That decision will be effective in 90 days after review. A transcript and a copy of that decision will automatically be sent to you. You have a right to appeal within 90 days of the effective date of the decision. Now, you're not required to discuss the matter with the panel. You're not required to admit to the offense. However, the panel does accept as true the court findings. In other words, we're not going to retry you.
Right. Good.
Mr. Douglas, any confidential information going to be used?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right. Mr. Manson, did you get a copy? Did you get a packet like this?
Someone offered me something if I would sign something, but then someone else told me not to sign anything because my name was worth a lot of money and they didn't want me using it as another economy.
All right, I understand. Do you remember whether or not the items that are checked on this piece of paper were the same items that they offered to you?
I'm not much at this book stuff. Let's see. What am I looking for exactly?
Just to make sure that you had an opportunity to look at a board report and your psych report and all
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
the guy
reports that were
offered
there.
that, yeah. He
Okay.
brought that into my attention,
Okay, good.
but I'm not sure of those little scratches.
Okay, well, I understand that. Are you ready to proceed without...
Yes, sir, I'm
anything
here
further
for
then?
you,
Okay.
whatever you wish.
Do you have any preliminary objections before we start?
Well, yeah, I have a lot of objections, but no one's ever been interested before.
Okay, do you have any objections to the way the hearing is being
No,
conducted?
no, it seems reasonable.
Okay, that's kind of what we're after, is whether or
Yes,
not you
sir.
have any
Yes,
objections
sir.
to the hearing. Okay, do you swear to tell us the truth today?
Always.
All right, that's all I asked. All right, I've got some stuff to read here, so I'll be a minute. We'll start with offense summary. Says shortly before midnight on 8/8 of 1969, Manson informed his crime partners that now was the time for helter-skelter. Crime partners were directed to accompany Charles Tex Watson in order to carry out Manson's orders. Crime partners were Linda Kasabian, Susan
Where's
Atkins.
this coming from? Who's writing this?
This comes from the probation report from when you first came into the system.
Oh, well, it's a little distorted.
Well, when I get through reading this, then I'll ask you, and you can give me your version. All right?
All right.
And you can straighten it out. Anyway, crime partners were Tex Watson, Linda Kasabian, Susan Atkins, and Patricia Kernwinkle. Watson drove to CO Drive. A vehicle containing victim Stephen Parent approached the gate. Watson stopped him at gunpoint and fatally shot him. All of the crime partners then proceeded to the house and gained entrance except Linda Kasabian, who stood lookout. Once inside, they murdered Abigail Ann Folger, inflicting 28 multiple stab wounds to her body. Wojciech Frykowski was killed by a gunshot wound to his back and multiple force trauma of blunt nature to his head. Sharon Tate Polanski, who was 8 months pregnant, was killed by multiple stab wounds. Jay Sebring was killed by multiple stab wounds. On 8/10 of 1969, Manson drove his crime partners to a location near the residence of Lino and Rosemary LaBianca. Manson entered the LaBianca home alone and at gunpoint tied up the victims. He impressed them that they would not be harmed and that a robbery was taking place. He then returned to the vehicle containing the clay. That's a statement of facts, Mr. Manson.
As they've been presented to you.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Did you want to tell us your side of this?
Yeah, I've been wanting to for years, but it just, it wouldn't listen.
Okay, this is your opportunity if you want to tell us, as long as you don't take too long, because we're not, you know,
See,
we haven't got all day.
there we
here.
go. See, how long is the episode would be to squeeze it down in words.
That's
You know,
right.
we're talking about 25, 30 years here. That's not very easy to say in a few minutes.
I understand that. I just want you to do the best you can.
Yeah, well, the more confusion that people have piled on me with lies and deceit and ambition and all the greedy little things that they play their dollar bills for, comes back to the penitentiary that I've been in since I was a little kid. So I look at everything from a child's perspective because I'm still 10 years old, because I've still been up underneath the authority of the Father since I was a little 10-year-old kid, because when my mother got out of prison, she brought me over and let me loose with the monks in the Irish Catholic Church. I escaped there at 13 years old, and I burglarized a lot of things, and I went through a lot of hell coming to California to get to the situation that we're in here now. My grandmother was a First World War witch out of Kentucky with a long rifle. My uncle Jess gave me a knife and taught me how to use it. They gave me guns and taught me how to use them. They gave me soul and taught me how to fight in the war, because I'm not a Yankee. I'm a rebel boy out of the hills of Kentucky and Tennessee. I keep telling these people from California that, but they don't understand what a Beverly Hillbilly is. I do a lot of underworld things. I've been in the underworld all my life since I was a child. You make a mistake and cross me, I'll get you. It's that simple. Sooner or later, in prison, you learn. If you let anyone get that over on you and bust you up with it, they'll get up in your rump and take everything you got. So I don't allow that in my world. So I'm underneath in the basement. I've got Barry Goldwater's picture on my mirror. United States of America all the way. I'll fight and die for God and country that quick. But then it comes down to where I'm not good enough for some reason to be on the Ho Minh Chinh Trail with the Viet Cong, fighting for liberations, the peace movement, or whose lost children are we helping here at the bottom of this pile of whatever we call this? You know, we got all piled on top of ourselves with thousands and thousands of rules. I get out of prison for a minute, I meet the angels of L.A. L.A.'s Angel Town. Back in the back, that's where we get down. You up in the front talking about money, honey. I'm back in the back up in the crack. She knows me well. I'm on soul. My Linda Bell is angel to these monks that just took their heads in San Diego because they're way behind time, underwater. We're dead in that nuclear submarine coming back from China with Ronnie Reagan riding wheelchairs on fire.